Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. I'm loving it. Hey, are you ready? Welcome to This, and That with Sofia. Yeah, so ignore the little first part. I'm just craving McDonald's. So yeah, welcome guys to the 5th episode of This, and That. Pretty cool. 5 episodes already. That's pretty cool. Not gonna lie. I hope you guys are doing good today. I'm doing pretty good. Not gonna lie, pretty good. You know, still doing rehearsal stuff, still doing meeting stuff, but it's okay. It's okay. That's life. That's my career. I knew this was going to happen as I continue growing. But I hope you guys are doing okay. Like I don't know, mental health wise. I've been kind of dreary with it, but you know, I'm still getting there. But you know, mental health is important. Well, today is a brand new day, brand new episode. And we're going to be one of my things that I really wanted to do, which is my firsts. But I really haven't had that many firsts because like I'm still kind of young in a way. So like it was kind of difficult to choose which one I wanted to put out there and which ones I just didn't have enough experience on. I kind of wanted to do my first kiss and all, but like that's, you know what, I'll just keep you guys waiting, you know, why not. But today I'm going to be talking about my first Broadway show, which was in 8th grade, which is pretty exciting for me as an actress. And I know many other theater kids out there probably, you know, you're gonna like this because, you know, every single time I know a lot of people who had their first Broadway show that they've seen are like crazy about it because like it's your first Broadway show. Broadway is a big thing, you know, and going there and getting tickets is great, you know, crazy. But before we get into that, just wanted to let you know that I said it in the episode before, but I have a new page for this podcast on Instagram, which is at this and that podcast all together. It would also be in the description along with my main page at Sofia with an F Michelle. And yeah, so last episode I shouted out one of my friends' page of her nails, and so I kind of wanted to do these things like, I don't know, YouTubers do, like post notifications and stuff. So I was like, so if you're one of the listeners out there who really like it, comment, always listen to every episode, let me know on my Instagram, on the YouTube comments, and I'll post notification you up on my description. But yeah, that's what I wanted to say before. So let's go on to the episode, shall we? So, my first Broadway show. That was quite a doozy. So my first Broadway show I went to see was in 8th grade. It was my 8th grade field trip, which anybody there in my class, Betsy Ross, my 8th grade class, they probably know this field trip. I don't know how it was for you because we all had different chaperones, all different locations and different places in the theater, so I don't know how it was for you, but for me it was a pretty good experience, really great experience actually, because you know, as a person in theater at Betsy Ross, I always loved acting and always loved the theater, you know, and so going to my first Broadway show officially was a crazy for me, and even just traveling to New York because I just don't go anywhere. So it was really nice for me to go there. So we went to Broadway to watch the show, drumroll, Once on This Island. It's a really good show, not gonna lie. Well, musical actually. If you haven't watched it, I definitely recommend it. It's a really good show. They were supposed to have it in the Schubert. I don't know if they're gonna do that, but yeah, so like if you haven't known about it, like the storyline is like this girl named Timoon, who's like a peasant girl, you know. She rescues a like guy from the other side of the island that she's in. I think his name Daniel, yeah. And she falls in love with him basically, you know, like a romance story, you know. I kind of liked it because it was also a romantic story because I'm just a hopeless romantic. But Timoon didn't know that there was these gods, you know, there in the island that made a bet to one another to see which was stronger in Timoon's like life, either love or death, and death being her life, which one would be stronger, how would she survive, or is love stronger in her life than death is, which is a really cool concept. The songs were really nice too. It was so good. I don't know, it was just good. But yeah, so let's get into it. So details. I don't know how to tell a first story. This is so weird. Like, I watched so many, but everybody has so many cool experiences, so I'm just like, ooh. So I'm in Betsy Ross. The people who know what Betsy Ross is here in Connecticut, you know it. Cool. It's a great school, not gonna lie. So we had to go there early as 8th graders to the school, earlier than school. So like, imagine just going to the school like around 6:30 in the morning, 7-ish. So we all went to the school early. We were in the cafeteria. I remember sitting in the back of the cafeteria, just waiting. Everybody mad loud. Had my little book bag. Not really. It was like a little pouch-ish with like water. With I had an iPad before. Yep. My OGs would know I had an iPad before. Just essentials like headphones and stuff. Anything that I need, like a little snack. And I would sit in the back. I remember Kendall was there. Shout out to Kendall. And we were just like waiting because everyone was mad loud, and so we were just there chilling, having the teacher situation with like the buses and stuff, every field trip. And then suddenly we get called for our chaperones because we didn't know until the day of. So my chaperone, for anyone who did go, was Miss Edwards, who was my language arts teacher there at Betsy Ross. Miss Edwards, I don't think she'll ever hear this, but if she is, I'm gonna give her a quick shout out because honestly, she kind of scared me. She's a good teacher, not gonna lie. She actually prepared me for high school, no matter how scary she was or how I felt in 8th grade, but she really necessarily prepared me for high school. Like, I still do her formatting in English. I still use her resources. It's just so crazy because as an 8th grader, I was literally terrified to walk into the room, always on my best behavior, make sure I never failed. But now doing it now it's like whatever, like I'm thriving now, like it's not as hard as I thought it was. But yeah, she was my chaperone for the field trip along with Kendall. She was there with me too. I don't remember who else was with me, but I remember Kendall, she was there. And we were just like, okay, like it was so weird because like I said, Miss Edwards, like I loved her as a teacher, but like genuinely, like I never knew how she was like outside of the environment of teaching. But so yeah, me and Kendall were just like chilling and everything. So we get to the buses, like we stroll down New York City. We're going all the way down the highway and just going down. I think I remember we were watching a movie, like certain movies during the way there. I don't remember what movie it was, but I know that. Yeah, so we start coming to the pit stop, which was Grand Central Station in New York. And so we're all getting off the bus to cross the street to Grand Central Station. And I necessarily remember getting off the bus. And since me and Kendall before, I'm still tiny, but me and Kendall used to be like the tiniest 8th graders in there, and so I remember Miss Edwards grabbing me and Kendall. I don't know if she remembers this, but necessarily like me and her, like she was holding our hands and helping us cross the street. That was so funny. Oh my god, she was like, come on, we have to hurry up, like the cars and everything. So I remember doing that, and so we get there, and we go down and like we take a time to breathe, stretch, we got some food for anyone who was hungry. Obviously, we had to pay our own food, but we got the time to get off the bus and just look around because it was New York. We're not in Connecticut anymore. We were in New York, and so we stood there. We ate some food. Still was with Miss Edwards. Yeah, but I remember being there eating, just chilling in the table and having conversations with everybody there. We weren't necessarily allowed to go talk to other people as much. We had to stay in like our little groups. We couldn't really go off and just do anything. I didn't have any other people to talk with, so like I was just chilling, But yeah, so after that, we just like, chilled around New York. We were waiting because we had a certain slot we had to go there. We came a few minutes earlier, so we were all getting our tickets, and we had to go back to the bus to go to the Broadway place. And so we were there going, chilling, finishing the movie that we were watching, and then we get to the place. And so, mind you, I'm an eighth grader who hasn't really gone anywhere besides Guatemala and Pennsylvania, but like very young. So like New York probably a few times, but obviously I was young, so I don't remember every single detail. So going to New York again was just as great as it was. But then going to a Broadway show, knowing that there was this place called Broadway in New York, but having the moment of stepping onto the sidewalk where this a great building was in front of me, it was just crazy. Now imagine me stepping inside the building and just looking everywhere. It was just crazy. I still have the ticket actually saved in one of like I'm the type who likes to keep memories, so like I have all the tickets from coronations at co-op, formal pictures from my 8th grade formal. I just keep everything, like movie tickets and stuff. So I still have the Broadway ticket to that show specifically. And so I remember we had to wait a little bit to go in, and it was just us, just our grade. But then more people started coming in because obviously we weren't the only ones watching the show, and so more people were getting in, more people, and it's kind of crazy thinking about it now, but this was like, pre-COVID, like so like everybody was in that one tiny space in the lobby, and it was so crowded. Oh my god. And now imagine me tiny, like if you know me, you know how tiny I am, so like I'm just there with a bunch of heads and bodies, like no. But then we started going into the building, and I felt nothing in my hands. So I was like, oh shoot, where's my ticket? And I remember strictly Miss Edwards saying, if you don't have your ticket, you're not gonna be able to watch the show. So I'm just like, great, I can't over my ticket. So I try to find everywhere, make sure it's in my bag and everything, and then I see it on the floor like a few feet in front of me. But there's so many people there, and I'm trying to squeeze through and everything, but I feel so bad because like I'm just like, excuse me, I'm just trying to go through. It's just the ticket on the floor. Yep, that's mine. And then I know some people were watching me like, you sure that's your ticket? Like, did you just pick a random ticket on the floor so you can go in? But, I was just getting my ticket, and I didn't want no questions asked. So I found it, and then I went back inside. And so we entered the theater, and we all had assigned seats, obviously, like every theater does. And the best thing, if you thought just being my chaperone, well, just Miss Edwards being my chaperone, the even better thing was that I got to sit next to her during the performance. So, it was kind of weird though, because teachers, they're humans too, so they have another life outside of teaching. So it was nice to conversate with her and just actually talk to her more than just like essays and stuff. And she was very entertaining as well, like, oh my god, like now thinking about it, yeah, teachers are really funny when they're not teaching. It like she had a whole other personality watching the show and gasping and everything, which reminds me of my math teacher. She was similar to Miss Oliver, and when she's teaching, she's very like firm in what she's saying, and like of course she'll tell stories one day or another, but outside of it, she's like very loving, crazy, even though she's crazy in her own way every day. But yeah, it was nice to like sit next to her and just like watch, because I'm a very observant person, not in a stalker way, but like I just love watching everything and watching the time go by and observing people. And I know as theater students, whoever are watching this as theater students, we're told to observe the world because we can always use something while we're performing, so I'm very observant, so I loved watching everybody there in the scenario and everything. So I don't remember what theater it was per se in Broadway. I know it was like a circular one. I know as a theater kid, I should probably know this, but like I really don't. I don't remember. But it was like a circular theater, right? Like where everybody, all the audience can be seen like around the stage. So it wasn't just the stage in front of you and you were there. It was like around the stage. So luckily I got a good seat where I could see, because there's some people who couldn't see as well. So I had a good seat. And the show was really nice. Like, of course, obviously, I didn't research the show before, so I was so confused with what was happening sometimes. But it was a really interesting show, not knowing it, just like because usually I like to know the shows and look at them on YouTube or research them, but not knowing anything, just blankly just watching the show was really entertaining, obviously. But it was really nice because it was technically my first music. Actually, no, it's a lie. I've done musicals at Betsy Ross, but it was like my first actual musical to watch in front of me that was professional, and so knowing that, the singing in the costumes and the stage, it was all real life. Like, the sand on the floor was actually the sand. The costumes were really nice. Like, the way they did production and producing everything was like very professional. You won't see that many things in a middle school stage. So watching it was really nice, and it obviously, for me, it impacted me more because I was a theater student and I wanted to know more, and I really loved singing and dancing and acting, and all three of those things put together, it made it even more nice. And knowing that I can do this professionally, I was like, shoot, sign me up. But no, I think the best part of watching the whole show was not only watching my very first professional musical in New York, but it was just observing everybody's reactions. Like I said, like with Miss Edwards, I would always observe, and like the gasps and the audience just like interacting with the performers on stage and everything, which was really nice. And I liked the way they used the stage. It was really entertaining. So I recommend, if anywhere you can watch Once on This Island, you should definitely go watch it. But yeah, it was a good amount of time. And so then after, like, we couldn't stay in New York for that long, I don't think. It's kind of fuzzy. It was 8th grade. But we didn't stay that long, so we came back to the bus. We went back to good old Connecticut. Obviously lots of us were tired. Most of us were sleeping. Others were like watching movies or just on their phones and everything. And we basically went back to the school where we got picked up. And, after that, it was really weird because I was like, my mom wanted to know everything, so I explained to her everything that happened and all that good stuff. But yeah, watching that really inspired me. Like I said, like, not even just as an actress, but like having those opportunities, the fact that, not only the fact that I had to wait until 8th grade to go to a field trip like this, but the fact that I could go to a Broadway show, to have a school to afford that kind of money and like opportunity to go watch, because that, like I said, that was my first professional Broadway show that I ever seen. And so I never seen anything like that, and to have an opportunity, a school to give us the opportunity to go watch something like that, was just really surprising, and it was really like, heartwarming. Of course, now I've watched many more shows, either live or online, virtually, musical wise. Like, I watched Hamilton on Disney Plus, which is still to this day my favorite musical. I've watched Legally Blonde on YouTube. I watched many others. I've watched Aladdin over the summer of 2020, which was my second, I think, professional Broadway show that I watched, which is really good. Like, I just love Aladdin. It's my favorite. I love the whole songs, like, the characters, but watching it live was just really cool. Like, I remember my dad telling me, like, he was watching me almost the entire time, just watching me sing the songs and being so observant, and so I'm just like, oh no, like, but yeah, like, since that point on, it just gave me more passion and motivation to continue acting. If I wasn't really into acting and like musicals and stuff, I probably would have stopped by now, probably would have done something else. But from that point on, I was in Betsy Ross for like 5th grade to 8th grade. But like 5th grade, I was still trying to find my way as an actress. 6th grade, was still trying to get into like, acting and what it was. 7th grade, got a little more mature, liked it even more, loved the feeling of it. But then 8th grade was really the time to understand, like, what do I want to do? Like, I can't just stay in this world. Like, is this something I really want to continue pursuing? And as you can see, me at co-op, the answer was yes, I want to still continue to pursue it. Now, me being still a theater student at co-op, from that point on, it really inspired me to continue and inspire others with my acting and my work. you know, because obviously you're gonna act for a reason. You're not just gonna do it, oh, just because the fun of it. Like me, there might be people like that, you know, who might just do it just because they want to be seen, they want attention, they want to do it because their parents want them to do it, they want to do it just to make it to Broadway and stuff like that. But I genuinely want to inspire people with my work, whatever I do, whether it's this podcast that I'm doing, whether it's being on stage acting, whether it's making my own film, whether it's, you know, writing poems, making stories, whatever I do in my life. My point is to inspire people. And I don't care if people like it or not, as long as people are getting inspired and doing other things, I feel like my job is going good, that I can continue doing that certain thing. Like, I've had many people tell me during this podcast that, wow, I want to do one, or that's so cool that someone your age is doing something like this, or I've never thought of doing one and I kind of want to do something like that. And so thinking about that is like, wow, like, you know, like I said, I never had intentions of doing a podcast ever in my life until quarantine got me, and I'm just like, let me do something with my use of editing, my use of talking, my use of like all these kind of things, and make something out of it. And so now hearing that other people love what I'm doing makes me feel good about myself, but also makes me feel good that I'm inspiring other people to be productive and doing something else with their life, you know? So that's what this field trip was to me. It was an inspiration, it was motivation, it was a passion to continue and doing what I love. You know, acting, of course, is going to be hard. People are going to reject you. People are going to say you're not good enough. But it just takes that one person to tell you you are worth it and you can do it. And that just takes you further. I honestly rather have 50 rejections and only one actual accomplishment and have that motivate me to come further. As long as I have one thing that can push me further, I'm fine with that. I can have as many rejections as I want. Like, I remember watching an interview with Renee Elise Goldsberry, Angelica from Hamilton, and she was like, I got rejected so many times, but just because they said no doesn't mean I stopped. You know, she was like, saying no meant not yet. It's not your turn yet. It's not your moment yet. You will get it, but just not yet. And I feel like a lot I'm religious, as most of you guys know, but that's what I always think of too. Like, God is always saying, not yet. You know, it's not your turn yet. Wait for it. Wait for the right time. Whether it's, you know, dating, whether it's your career, whether it's school, whether it's anything in life, you know, as long as you wait for it. If someone says no, it doesn't just mean no. It just means not yet. It's not your turn yet. It's not your moment. You will get it, just not yet. You have to wait. And so, watching this, you know, maybe I could have watched as many musicals as I wanted to since, like, as a little child, but it just wasn't my turn yet. I wasn't mature yet. I wasn't old enough. But now as an 8th grader watching a show like this, you know, I had to think about my future. I had to think of what was going to work for me. And so watching that made me feel, you know, this is what I want to do. This is finally my moment to think. And now as a high schooler, as a junior, in fact, I'm always thinking about my future. And now as a junior, I'm thinking about it twice as much. And it's going to be the same thing as a senior. And so I'm thinking about my future and what I want to do. And, you know, it's always going to be like that. And I'm trying to stay motivated, as I tell you guys to do too. Inspire others, motivate others, you know, focus on yourself, you know, love yourself and everything that you do. Don't just do something just because someone tells you to do. Do something you love. And wait for that moment to be inspired, because once you get inspired, that moment is just going to be like a light bulb. It's going to flick on, and you have to be ready for that. So yeah, this was a huge inspiration for me. I want to continue watching more musicals live or virtually. I want to continue being in them now that I am now a virtual musical famed junior at co-op. I just never want theater to be not in my life, you know? I either want to be in it or help out in it or anything involving theater at all. So yeah, I don't know. Wow, I kind of like doing these first stories because like, it just made me like open up. I feel so much better now. Like everything just came out of me. But, you know, like all jokes aside, like it really inspired me. And I hope that something inspires you too, to do something that you love and to not give up your dreams, you know? So this is about the end of the episode. I hope you guys liked it. let me know if you guys want me to do more first stories. They're really fun for me, and I hope they're fun for you. You know, you get a little story out of it, and then like a little lesson in the end or something like that. I don't know. Yeah, I just like giving out little advice tips. That's just me. But yeah, so I hope you guys enjoyed one of my first stories. Like I said before, I kind of want to do new things, new ideas. I'm always up for them. Check the description below. See, comment down below if you want to be part of post notifications in my description. Follow all the pages on my Instagram, and you know, just be the best possible person you can in life. That's all I'm gonna say. So I hope to have you hear the next episode soon. Remember, every episode is from every Tuesday at 1 p.m. on YouTube. Hopefully we can get these out more on other podcast sites, but for now it's going to be on YouTube, so like, share, anything you have to do with it. So I'll see you next Tuesday at 1. Bye.